Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of the series where I'm going to review the head-to-head between Nadal, Djokovic, Federer, Nadal and Djokovic, Federer. So in this part it's Nadal versus Djokovic. In case you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing to my channel as this would really mean a lot to me. And that's sort of a feedback from you guys that you're interested in similar videos in the future. Alright, so let's dive in. Let's have a look at the head-to-head on the screen. They've met 55 times. This is an open era record. Djokovic leads the series 29-26. In case you really want to go through, you can pause the screen and have a look on the head-to-head. But just as I did in the previous video, here's the breakdown on surfaces, on years, and on Grand Slams. So on grass they've met 4 times, it's 2-all. Nadal has won the first 2, Djokovic has won the last 2. On hard court, it's a very clear dominance from Djokovic. From the 21 occasions they've played on a hard court, it's 16-5 to Djokovic. Indoor court, hard, also Djokovic has a lead, it's 4-2. And on clay, there's a clear dominance from Rafa, 17-7. So they're both very good grass court players. Djokovic clearly with the better Wimbledon record, but Nadal is also somebody who's won 2 Wimbledons. So on grass, it seems that they're relatively even. Maybe Djokovic has a little edge lately since he won their last 2 encounters. On hard court, the majority of the wins of these 5 victories came rather at the beginning of their careers in the first 5 years. The last time Nadal's won an important match against Djokovic on a hard court was back in 2013, so that's quite a long time. So lately, Djokovic has been the more dominant player on the hard court. Indoor hard, so 2-4. It's a clear advantage for Djokovic, but they have not played so many matches on indoor hard courts. And on clay, at the beginning, Nadal was the very dominant one, and in 2011, so basically 9 years ago, Djokovic started to win a few times as well against Nadal. So that was the time when he really felt that, okay, I can break through and I can win regularly against Nadal. Even if he can do it on clay, then he can beat him everywhere. Nonetheless, Nadal managed to hit back and he's won the majority of their clay court matches after his first 2 losses, but nevertheless, it's quite impressive that Djokovic has 7 victories against Nadal on clay. So, number of finals. They've played 27 times in a final. Djokovic has a lead of 16-11. So, they've played even more finals than Nadal versus Federer. They had 24 finals played, and these guys have 27. The difference is, of course, that they've met 15 times more than Federer against Nadal. Federer and Nadal had 9 Grand Slams played, and these guys have 8, and it's dead even. Djokovic has won 4, Nadal has won 4. If we break it down at the Aussie Open, they've played the final twice, in 2012, that was the epic one in 5 sets, and in 2019, where Djokovic was really in a demolition mode and won in straight sets, so he needs to love at the Aussie Open. The French Open, they've met many times, but just twice in the final, both times Nadal winning in 4 sets, 2012 and 2014. At Wimbledon, they've met once in the final, that was the the breakthrough year for Djokovic, cementing himself as a solid number 1 player in the world, where he won in 4 sets against Nadal. And at the US Open, surprisingly, since this is a hard court, they've met 3 times in the final and Nadal has the lead 2-1. when Djokovic was really coming on strongly and has beaten Federer for the first time at the US Open in 2010 in the semi-finals after saving 2 match points. Nadal still had somehow an upper hand and managed to beat Djokovic in that final. In 2011, he lost the final against Djokovic. He was playing really well, but Djokovic was just unstoppable. And in 2013, that was maybe a little bit of a surprise that Nadal managed to edge that out in 4 sets. That was also a terrific final. So the overall head-to-head, Djokovic is leading, he's ahead, but I feel like since it's really 4-all in Grand Slam finals, they're still relatively close in their rivalry and head-to-head. And the difference of 3 matches, that's significant, but it's not like you don't have that gap as there was between Federer and Nadal, that there's a gap of 8 matches because Nadal has won 8 more matches than Federer. So in that respect, I feel this rivalry is even closer and even stronger than the other one. So if we go and through the years and break it down, first time they've met, French Open 2006, Nadal's won in basically after 2 sets, Djokovic had to retire. 2007 and 8 and 9 and 10. Still Nadal dominating, winning basically more of the matches throughout the year they were playing. 2011 was the real big switch where they've met in 6 finals and each time Djokovic has won. Starting with Indian last and then Miami and then it was in the Rome and Madrid final, the Wimbledon final and the US Open final, all of them won by Djokovic, which was absolutely fantastic. The year he had in 2011. 2012, Nadal hit back. Djokovic has won the Aussie Open final, but Nadal has won the next 3, although these were on clay, but it was still a very important time for him to show that, okay, you've beaten me twice on clay, but I still can improve and I still can beat you and make you uncomfortable on clay, which was, I think, very important in Nadal's head-to-head career against Djokovic, those 3 victories in 2012 on clay. 2013, it's that even, 3-all. 2014, Djokovic edged him 2-1. 2015 was a relatively bad year for Nadal. That was the time where he dropped out of the top 5. I think he was number 9 at some point. That was not a really good season for him. And 2016, he had a lot of injuries at that point as well. Also not a strong year for him. 2017, however, they've met once. That was the year when Djokovic had the elbow issues and also he was a little bit struggling mentally. They've met once on clay in Madrid, which was won by Nadal. 2018, epic match at the Wimbledon semi-final where Nadal had match point. He was close to winning but eventually lost. And he's beaten him in Rome in the semis, which was a good match. 2019, 1-1. The Aussie Open final, which I've mentioned before, where he was so dominant against Nadal, and he's beaten him in straight sets. And there was the Rome final, where Nadal won 6-love, 4-6, 6-1, so that was also a very good match. And in 2020, they've met for the first time at the ATP Cup, the inaugural ATP Cup, where Djokovic has won in the final in straight sets, also on a hard court. So if you look at this rivalry, you have to be really impressed because they've played so many times, 55 times in the Open era. That's really a lot of matches. If you think back at the Agassi-Sampras rivalry, they've played also many times against each other, but it's like 2014 to Sampras, so that's 34 matches. They've played more than 20 matches more. This is still far away from the Chris Evert, Martina Navratilova, where they've met 18 times and played 80 times. Navratilova leading 43 to 37. But still, in the men's game, in the Open era, this record of having played 55 matches against each other, and there are still most probably some other chapters to be written. This is a very interesting rivalry, and I would be, I think I would be really looking forward to see some other clashes between these two guys. Please let me know what you think below, and thanks for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.